You either earned it or you're out of it. The playoffs begin this week in North Dakota 9-man football, while the other three divisions are still trying to sort out the postseason picture. Hi again, everyone. Jody Norstedt with Midco Sports here. I love our weekly catch-ups. This is fun, right? And we get to hand out some hardware each week, too. This week, our game ball winner, sponsored by Farmers Union Insurance, comes from the blue-collar towns of Wyndmere and Lidgerwood. Warbird senior Johnny Gutzmer put on a gutty performance in the win over rival Hankinson, rushing for a school record in yards and scoring a touchdown while playing on a broken leg at the end of the game. Okay, now you got to stick around to the end of this segment to hear more on him. A couple of other things on my mind. The 9-man bracket is out. The 8 region champs like 𝗕𝗹𝗹 and Cavalier get byes in the first round. The Lobos and Tornadoes are the 1 and 3 seeds respectively. The number 2 is New Salem. Check out the complete bracket on the 𝗕𝗹𝗹 website. Other teams that punched their ticket to the playoffs: Lisbon with their win over Sargent County, Thompson thumping Carrington, and 𝗕𝗵𝗋ose narrowly beating Rugby in that Class 11B division. As for the Class A division, I shared the latest QRF ratings on Twitter earlier this week. It's looking more and more likely that we could see all 3 EDC playoff teams host a quarterfinal game in 11AA, that being Cheyenne, West Fargo, and Shanley. Also, should note that second-ranked Cheyenne and top-ranked Century played this Friday, a rematch of the last 2 state championships. And things are getting interesting in 11A. Fargo North might have a shot at getting a top 2 seed if they can win out, but it'll be tough. They host Davies this Friday on Midco Sports. Jamestown is right there too, and then St. Mary's has the top spot right now in that division. People have asked about how the QRF works, and basically it takes into account the caliber of your opponent, your schedule, pretty much all the above. I can say something similar for how we decide our top performers and our game ball winner. We look at the quality of opponent when making some of the final who's in and who's out decisions. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the top performers from the week. Landon Carter from Cavalier is on the list 1 week after his quarterback Bryson Clem made the cut. Clem was great again, by the way, accounting for 5 touchdowns this week, but I give Carter the nod because he hauled in a couple of those touchdown catches, going for 3 catches for 71 yards and 2 scores. Then on defense, he recorded an interception and a fumble recovery to help spark a defense that shut out a 𝗕𝗹𝗹 team, averaging 33 points per contest. Tornadoes get a week off before hosting the winner of Wyndmere-Lidgerwood and 𝗕𝗹𝗹. Our next man has been digging through defenses like a true miner. Beulah senior Amari Gilmore has been on this list quite a few times already and is probably tired of not getting picked for the game ball, but I'll just keep motivating him then. Gilmore rumbled for 288 yards and a trio of touchdowns on 27 carries in the 38-30 win over Trinity. He also eclipsed the 1,000-yard milestone for the season in the victory. Shout out to that offensive line too. The Miners close out the regular season with another good challenge against 7-1 Bowman County on Friday. I was in Gwinner this past Friday night, and the only thing better than the brat feed was the ground game for Lisbon. Bowden Greenlee in particular, who rushed for a 177 yards and 3 scores in the 40-7 win over Sargent County. The Rhinos, the nickname for the O-line, paved the way all night, led by senior Caleb Olson. Lisbon gets a shot at 4th-ranked Kindred on Friday. If you saw the Bishop Ryan Velva Garrison highlights we aired on Varsity Sports Live, you knew this guy would have to make the list. Lions senior receiver Zach Hendrickson was the top target for freshman quarterback Jet Lundeen. Hendrickson made 7 catches for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. He made some really tough catches too, as Bishop Ryan dealt the 5th-ranked Aggies their first loss of the season, 20-12. Cheyenne's Josh Hendricks might be the most underappreciated player in the state. His running style won't wow you or dazzle you, but the guy is like a human chisel. He'll keep making you weaker throughout the game before wearing you down so much you have no interest in tackling him anymore. The 6-foot, 220-pound senior went gladiator on the North Spartans Friday night, rushing for 159 yards and 3 scores in the 30-13 win. The challenge will be tougher against Lucas Schweigert in that Century defensive front come Friday. The next one is a double for me. A couple of Mandan Braves deserve some recognition. Let's start with junior wide receiver Carson Jablonski. After Jamestown scored a touchdown to go up 14-0 early in the fourth on Friday, 𝗕𝗹𝗹 returned the ensuing kick 97 yards for a touchdown, a huge momentum swing in the game for the Braves on the road. Then with about 4 minutes left, he hauled in a 68-yard touchdown pass from Max Carlson to tie the game at 14-all. 𝗕𝗹𝗹 also had a 43-yard catch with 19 seconds to go that helped set up the game-winning field goal. That's where our second half of this double comes in. Alex Wagner from 36 yards out sends it through the uprights for the walk-off winner. The Braves win in dramatic fashion, 17-14. Impressive comeback for Todd Sheldon's group. Well, Surrey is really heating up as the playoffs approach. The Mustangs knocked off previously unbeaten and fourth-ranked Divide County thanks to a monster game by, you guessed it, Chris Jenner. The standout senior turned 34 carries into 365 yards and 4 scores. He also added 11.5 tackles on defense. Those are game ball winner numbers, but hey, he already has one this year. Congrats to Chris and the Mustangs, who earned a first-round bye in the playoffs. The EDC's leading quarterback continues to put up huge numbers. Wahpeton's Blake Schaefer passed for 319 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead the Huskies to an impressive 28-21 victory over fourth-ranked Devils Lake. The win vaulted Wahpeton up to 4th in the latest poll. Caleb Rist's numbers just keep getting better each week. The Des Lacs Burlington senior struck gold 3 times in the blowout over Stanley, racking up 266 yards on the ground. The Lakers wrap up the regular season against Velva Garrison. The winner earns a home playoff game. Our last man on the top performers list is freshman big man Jake 𝗕𝗹𝗹 from Thompson. He caught 3 passes for 120 yards and taking 2 of those to the house. He also added a rushing score in the Tommies' 38-0 victory over Carrington to solidify a playoff spot. 𝗕𝗹𝗹 has been a nightmare for defensive coordinators this season and will continue to be for the next 3 years. Back to our game ball winner now, sponsored by Farmers Union Insurance. Wyndmere-Lidgerwood head coach Scott Strienge said Johnny Gutzmer is as tough as nails. Hard to argue that. Look at these numbers. 367 rushing yards, a new school record by the way, on 35 carries for 3 touchdowns, including the game-winning score with 19 seconds left that he scored on a broken leg. You can see him labor a little bit on the run. He and the coaching staff didn't realize it was broken until after the game. Gutzmer showing guts in a slugfest with rival Hankinson, a game that finished with a final of 50-48 after the Pirates pulled a miracle of their own to score in the final seconds only to fail on the potential game-tying 2-point conversion. What a game and what a performance. Gutzmer is your game ball winner. Remember, this is a team that was already shorthanded. Their leading rusher, Andrew Arth, tore his ACL a couple of weeks ago. Now Gutzmer's out with a leg injury. They are down to number 3 on the depth chart at running back. Wyndmere-Lidgerwood plays Finley Sharon Hope Page in the first round of the playoffs on Saturday. Yes, playoff football is in the air, and we love it. A reminder, we'll be televising Davies at Fargo North on Friday, 7 p.m. start on Midco Sports. Make sure to tune in and then watch Varsity Sports Live at 10:30. We'll see you then.